This man wakes up 200 miles from the nearest shoreline, surrounded by black water stretching in every direction, with no land in sight and no way home for the next 28 days straight. There is no escape route if something breaks. There is no ambulance, no fire truck, no neighbor to call, and one spark in the wrong place can turn the entire platform into a fireball that kills every soul on board before the helicopters even know what happened. This is every level of an offshore oil rig worker's career, and the man living through it is named Dane Walker. He begins at the absolute bottom as a roustabout, the lowest rank on the rig, earning $18 to $22 an hour scrubbing oil-slicked decks, hauling pipe across catwalks, painting rust patches, and learning to read the moods of the ocean like a second language. He works 12-hour shifts in salt spray that eats through his steel-toed boots in less than 4 months. And his first helicopter ride out over the open Gulf feels less like a job commute and more like a one-way ticket to another planet entirely, one made of steel, diesel, and silence. He sleeps in a bunk so narrow his shoulders touch both walls, shares a bathroom with 11 other men, and learns within the first week that homesickness on a rig isn't an emotion. It's a physical weight that presses down on the chest at 3 a.m. when the only sound is the groan of metal against the sea. Within a year, if he survives the noise, the isolation, the relentless cold of the North Sea wind, and the foreman who screams orders over crashing waves and screaming machinery, he is promoted to Roughneck, pulling $25 to $38 an hour on the drill floor itself. This is where the real danger begins. He wrestles spinning chains, iron tongs that can rip a man's arm clean off in a single careless jerk, and 30-foot pipe sections heavier than family cars swinging like pendulums above his head. A wedding ring left on the wrong finger here can deglove a hand in less than a second, so Dane quietly removes his and tapes it inside his locker, next to a photo of his wife and the daughter he barely knows. He learns to read the driller's hand signals through diesel smoke, learns to feel a kick in the well through the soles of his boots before the alarms ever sound, and learns that the men who survive offshore are not the strongest, but the ones who never let their attention drift, not even for a heartbeat. After 3 years and a thick stack of certifications in well control, H2S safety, and Hewitt helicopter underwater escape training, he climbs the steel ladder into the role of Derrickman, earning $40 to $55 an hour, working 90 feet above the drill floor, strapped into a safety harness, guiding 90-foot pipe stands into the monkey board, while the entire rig sways gently under the swell of the North Atlantic. From up there, he sees sunrises no one on land will ever see, an orange line cutting across an empty curve of ocean, and he also sees storms rolling in from the horizon that make grown men cry quietly into their bunks at night. He sees the green flash at sunset, pods of whales the length of buses, and once, a waterspout that came within half a mile of swallowing the helideck whole. Then comes the driller's chair, $80,000 to $140,000 a year, where Dane sits inside a soundproof cabin in front of glowing screens and runs the entire drilling operation himself, reading mud weights, gas levels, hook loads, and pressure gauges the way a heart surgeon reads vitals during open chest surgery. One wrong call here doesn't simply get him fired. It gets men buried at sea, families destroyed, and his name burned forever into industry memos as the cautionary tale they teach to new hires. He develops a tremor in his left hand that never quite goes away, and he learns to drink coffee black because his nerves can't handle anything sweeter. Above him in the chain of command sits the Toolpusher, earning $150,000 to $200,000. The man who runs the rig 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The final word before the company man on land takes over. He hasn't slept a full, uninterrupted night in years. His back is held together by cortisone shots, and his marriage exists only through grainy satellite phone calls and birthdays missed by 2 weeks. He watches young men come and go, watches some of them quit after one hitch, watches others get carried off in body bags wrapped in blue tarps, and he carries every single one of them in a small mental ledger he never speaks about out loud. Beyond that pay grade lies the OIM, the Offshore Installation Manager, pulling $220,000 to $300,000 plus bonuses, the captain of a floating steel city of 200 souls, personally responsible for every life on board, every barrel produced, every emergency drill, every helicopter landing, every weather call, and every regulatory inspector who arrives unannounced. He answers to corporate executives who have never set foot on a rig and to government agencies who hold the power to shut down the entire platform with one signature. And at the very top of the offshore pyramid sit the subsea engineers and deepwater specialists, earning $350,000 and well beyond into the $500,000 range. The elite few who design and supervise wells drilled 10,000 feet below the seabed in places like the Gulf of Mexico, the pre-salt fields of Brazil, and the unforgiving deepwater blocks off the coast of West Africa, where a single faulty blowout preventer valve can trigger a Macondo-level catastrophe that costs $65 billion, kills 11 men, and poisons an entire coastline for a generation. These are the engineers who fly first class, who consult for governments, who testify in congressional hearings, and whose phones ring at 3 a.m. when something on the seabed has gone catastrophically, terribly wrong. By now, Dane Walker is 47 years old. His hearing is half gone from years of standing too close to mud pumps and diesel generators that never stop screaming. His back holds 3 titanium pins from a fall on the drill floor that should have killed him in 2014. His daughter is older now than he was when he first stepped onto that helicopter as a 19-year-old Roustabout with $40 in his wallet and no idea what salt spray could do to a pair of boots. He has missed 14 Christmases, 12 birthdays, 2 funerals, and 1 wedding that wasn't his own. His best friend on the rig, a Cajun named Boudreaux, who taught him how to tie a bowline knot in the dark, died in a crane accident in 2019, and Dane still keeps his hard hat in the corner of his locker. He stands now on the helideck of a platform 200 miles from the nearest shoreline, watching the same black water that swallowed his 20s, his 30s, and his 40s. The rotors of an incoming chopper beating the air above him like a heartbeat, and he thinks back to the very first day he was a roustabout, scrubbing oil-slicked decks 200 miles from land, surrounded by black water stretching in every direction, with no land in sight and no way home for the next 28 days, wondering quietly to himself if he would ever truly make it home. And now, after a lifetime of climbing steel ladders into the sky and descending into the dark belly of the sea, he finally understands the answer the ocean has been whispering to him all along. That some men never really come back from the water, they just keep returning to it until the water decides to keep them for good.